Okay, here we go. Let's get things rocking. Okay. We are live. We are live. Let's see how we make this work tonight. I'm excited. Super excited. Okay. All righty. Things are looking good. What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Getting things together. We're gonna have a great live tonight. Please, before we get started, I would like everybody to please hit me in the chat. Just give me thumbs up. Make sure that y'all can hear me correctly, so I'm not on the mute end. And the other thing, take the link to my YouTube, put it on your Facebook or social media platforms so y'all can help spread the show. I got some cool people coming through tonight. We're going to get into some real cool topics. You know, shout out to everybody. I'm going to make sure I give my shout outs when the room is full of a little fuller. You know what I mean? But I'm excited tonight, man. Tonight's show was dope. Jungle Brothers definitely deserve their flowers. They definitely were a intricate part of making things happen as far as that whole native tongue. That lineage is crazy. You got the Tribe Called Quest influence. You have the leaders of the new school influence. You got the Queen Latifah, the Moni Love, Cool DJ Red Alert spearheaded all of this stuff. It's serious. It's serious. Definitely serious. So as the room is filling up, um, you know, let me know what y'all. Let me know first of all. I want to salute y'all properly and recognize y'all properly. So one of the things I like to do is I like everybody that's coming into the room, please state where you from, state and city, please. State and city so I can shout y'all out properly before I bring my people in the room. We're going to have some great conversation. Have your questions ready. We're going to talk about the show, and then we're going to go into hip-hop topics, things that's happening, things that we can share common cause with. I think it's dope. Uh, Giving them their flowers. So, what do y'all think of the name? Tell me what y'all think of the name, giving them their flowers, because I was catching a little flack on the second show about the name from some artists, and I'm like, man, that name been there forever. Okay, Southport, North Carolina, in the building. Okay, Roxbury Royal, Boston, Massachusetts, in the building. Valley Forge, aka headquarters, is in the building. Who else is in here tonight? Who else is in here? Okay, we got Long Island in the building. Okay, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the building. Once again, y'all, I need y'all to hit them like buttons so we can get our algorithm up. I need you guys to share the links on your social media. And then we'll talk a little bit about the show, see what y'all thought of the show, what y'all thought it was missing, what other artists y'all might want to see for season 2. We have 2 more shows, and then the season is over. So each season is 7 to 8 episodes. I think it's 7 episodes we starting out. And then we're going to do the live giving them their flowers, where we bring the artists live. But I want to wait for some more people to get into the room, give them a chance. Once we hit that 5-minute mark, I'll go into some topics. Please hit the like buttons. Make sure you hit them likes so we see what we got going on. You know, we need to boost those algorithms. Once again, I'm here like Weaves. That's what's up. Roxbury is in the building. Southport, North Carolina. Southport, North Carolina. We have Valley Forge. We have Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We have Roanoke, Virginia. We have DC in the building. Come on, y'all. Where we going? Boston in the building, New York. Where's all my New York heads? Virginia Beach in here. We're going to have I'm just excited about the conversation that we're going to have because I don't really get, this is my first year really interacting live and doing live things. We're trying to get this to grow. So I need all y'all help to make our numbers grow. I need all your help to make the shows get more attention and get a little more popular. Augusta, Georgia in the building. I'm just excited, man. So first of all, let me know what y'all think. Super Lover C, what's good, baby? Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. You ready to come in the room? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to come into the room. Okay, cool. All right. Super Lover C in the building.
What's going on, my brother?
You gotta I'm trying to come in, but he gotta attach the camera. You gotta attach the camera. There we you ready to come into the room, Unc? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to come into the room. Yeah, I can't hear you, but you gotta give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go live. You ready? Because I gotta put you in the room first before I can hear you. I'm putting you in the room. There we go.
Now we're cool.
Y'all, we're gonna have some great conversation tonight. Everybody good? Super Lover C, is good to see you, my brother.
Good to see you too, my brother.
Why I don't hear your audio? Hold on.
You not hearing my audio?
I'm tripping.
I hear his audio.
I know why. There we go. I'm talking all that. My levels was down.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we ready. We rolling.
What's good, my brother?
I'm good. How you feeling, brother?
All is well, man. All is well.
Very good. Very good.
Sure.
So I just want everybody to know I'm making the announcement. My uncle Tyrone Williams, aka Fly Ty, Cold Chillin', the ambassador, the pioneer, the bricklayer of hip hop, is officially a part of the show. He's coming on every Monday with us when he's available to discuss hip hop topics. So what did y'all think of the show tonight? Let us know in the comments. What do y'all think of the show? So Super Lover C, we're gonna start with Super Lover C and then we'll go to Jungle Brothers. What's your thoughts about the Jungle Brothers, man?
Oh man, the Jungle Brothers bring back so many memories, man. Because I spent a lot of time with them at the Latin Quarters.
Okay.
Because of course, DJ Red Alert spent at Latin Quarters, and the Jungle Brothers were always in the house. So, if you didn't see one, you saw the other. So we spent a lot of time hanging out, man, and they made some dope music, man. That JB's, that was my joint.
Oh,
right
that
there.
was crazy.
That was crazy when it came out. And I really appreciated them and what they did with Tip and Fife. And as they, what they did with the collaborations, man, the collabos were dope. Dope group, man. Got to give it up to them.
Yeah. Now, you coming from two different sides because one, you had radio, the Rap Attack, and then you're also a label executive. So what was your thoughts when you heard their music?
Okay, for me, from the radio standpoint, I'll go to Mr. Magic. Whether we liked it or not, and not to say that we didn't like it, Magic gave everybody a shot. Mm-hmm. Magic used to have a say. He'd say, Ty, if we could pick a hit, then we could get a job just picking hits.
Right.
That's on the record company. That's a hit. That's not a hit. That's a hit. That's not a hit. So some things going to hit that you don't know. All right. What we are is promoting the culture of hip hop.
Right.
If somebody took their time to go into the studio and spend their money to make a record, then we have to give them a shot. And everybody that went in the studio didn't have their studio time paid for when they first went. They weren't associated with a label or anything like that. But the Jungle Brothers, all right, was just something in my mindset. Before I even heard it, I thought of X-Clan and Public Enemy. Just from the name alone. All right, so from the name alone, I was willing to see what they sounded like. When I heard them, of course, they exceeded my expectations. Now I remember when they were going to go to, I don't know if they ever went to Warner Brothers, but I sat in on the meeting with Benny Medina and Red Alert. We were talking about them coming to Warner Brothers.
Really?
Yeah. Now I don't know if they ever made the deal or not, but we talked about it.
Was this early? Was this prior?
This is like 91, 92.
Okay, so this was after the first album came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but funny story about the Jungle Brothers. I don't know, and I'm about to tell you, I have a brother like many of us do or did. My brother Big Rud did many years in prison. All right. When he was at Arthur Kill, one of the Jungle Brothers' mothers was a CO.
Really?
Yeah. And my brother called me about the CO at Arthur Kill. Her son was in the Jungle Brothers. I don't know which one it was, but that was part of, what was funny to me at the time, Right. And but yeah, so the Jungle Brothers, man, I'm not sure that the full story. All right. But for me personally, I liked it.
Yeah. Now for me, when I first heard them, because my initials is JB. So I was already partial. And then they had the song, the JBs, the JBs, the JBs. So, that was serious. That was a serious thing right there for me. I loved everything about the Jungle Brothers. I just thought they brought a whole different vibe at that time. 88 was a special year. Everyone talks about it's the golden era. Some people say the golden era started in 85. Most say it's 88. But I think the Jungle Brother and everybody was so different at that point. But when they came to the table and they did, their songs and their type of record, it was a lot different than, the Rakim or the EPMD. Just their group, their whole sound, their whole image, what they were talking about was way different, if a lot of people remember. And if y'all agree with me in the chat, tell me what you think the Jungle Brothers, how different they were from other groups and what made them stand out. For me, it was more their image, what they talked about, and that, I guess, the sound, the Jungle Brothers sound was different.
I want to hone in on what you said about the golden era.
Right.
Now, for me, the golden era starts with UTFO. Why I say that, UTFO spawns Roxanne Shanté. All right. Roxanne Shanté spawns MC Shan. Molly Marl, who spawns Eric B. and Rakim, which the Juice Crew, which spawns KRS-One, and Herbie Lovebug does with his thing with Super Lover seeing them and all of that. So all that came from that one Roxanne Shanté answering UTFO, which made the brothers say, wait a minute, this little girl could do this. You understand? I know I could do this. So, and things got better and tighter as the years went on, and the Canes and the Business and the Public Enemy all went on. That whole mid to late 80s was golden era for me.
Right, because you didn't have to sound like anybody else. You just had to sound great, and that's what made it the golden era. You didn't have to sound like the last guy. You can come out and do your thing. If it was good, and everybody respected it, man, it was gonna be a hit.
Absolutely. Which was and I forgot to say Dougie. All right, because the show was just a whole, and Slick Rick. What I'm saying? So, and like you said, you didn't have to sound like anybody else. And in fact, you definitely didn't want to sound like anybody else, and nobody did. And you can have a whole collection of different sounding people in your and listening to it in your house. And it was just and everybody had a different kind of message and different things what they said, you know. I mean, whether if you play Cool G Rap and Big Daddy Kane, it was two different sounds, two different messages. All right, you throw Public Enemy in there, okay. It's just a whole different. I mean, just what I want to say is I'm happy I had the opportunity to not just live in that era, to work with some of the people in that era. Mm-hmm. Because it was, you know, I don't know, and I'm hoping some young people on tonight, but you guys need to go and revisit that time period in hip hop and just listen to it with an open ear and see what's going on and look at it as though you're hearing it for the first. Listen to it as though you're hearing it for the first time, because like you just said, now I mean, maybe it's me. Everything sounds the same to me. You know, I listen, I try, and I'm the one that always argues that I'm going to fight for these kids today, because based on what we went through back then, everybody was against us. Okay, right. When I say everybody, the radio and record labels, majors were against us. Didn't believe it, and this hip hop stuff was just a fad. It's going to be over. They hated it. So I just don't want to be the one to hate what's going on today. I want to give it a shot. But it sounds the same to me. You know, everybody's doing the same thing, the vocoder, what the auto tones, what they call it now. And it's just, you know, it's the same format to every record now. You know, and I'm wishing that at some point somebody stands up and says, I gotta be different.
Right.
And they're only gonna do that if the public accepts what's different. But you know what? Eventually a new generation gonna come along. And this gonna sound old, and they're gonna move on to the next.
Yeah. I think. Go ahead, C. You got anything to add to that about the golden era?
Well, no, not really, man. But other than the fact that
your sound, something's up with your mic. Something is up with your sound.
Something's wrong with the sound.
It's popping. It's popping.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with it.
Do you have like a something plugged into it?
It sounds like a short.
Right.
Okay. I'm not sure what's going on with it. I can try to log back in on a different device. It may be the device itself.
Yeah, you sound a little wacky. Like if it's getting feedback.
Okay, I'm gonna try a different device.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Okay.
So we could talk.
Okay, so yeah, let me see if he went. Let me see something. Hold on 1 second, guys.
You can tell you ain't from radio. You can't. There's so much go on. We can't wait till the next guy come back.
Come on, how you gonna do me like that? Let me get to so this is my thing. I always thought the golden era was 88, but apparently for you it was earlier than that.
Because you're a young boy.
I'm not that young.
No, you're young compared to the golden era.
Yeah, I guess so.
88 sounds about right for you.
But some of the things I liked about the Jungle Brothers was, like I said, their songs, but I think they really how Rakim came in and he kind of changed the algorithm of hip hop.
Yes.
I think when the Jungle Brothers did House You,
yes,
it kind of changed the algorithm of hip hop, because now once they had that record, House You, it seems like everybody was trying to do like a hip house record. They were so influential on that level. And then on top of that, and hold on, let me shout out Casanova Rud, Super Lover C's partner. He's in the chat. Shout out to you. Salute to you, Cash, for checking in. I'm gonna acknowledge a lot of other people, but I want to kind of make my point. And so that with that record, I just seen everybody kind of emulate their whole style. And then one of the things I didn't know they were so influential on a lot of the artists today. Because when I was doing my research, Pharrell, which is a producer, everyone know who Pharrell is, said that one of the most influential albums that he looked at for inspiration was the Jungle Brothers album.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so, talking to you as a record executive, at that time, you had Biz Markie, you had Roxanne Shante, you had MC Shan, you had Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, and a list of others, TJ Swan, and the list goes on. A group like the Jungle Brothers, which you would have signed them at that time?
Absolutely.
You would have.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
To
I'm looking
me,
at the roster, and like they were just so different.
So, and every one of them artists you named was different from one another.
Say that again?
Every artist you named was different from one another.
Right, but they had, Cold Chillin' had more of the rugged artists, the more street oriented.
Yeah, but the Jungle Brothers had, Shan did an album, what, a whole house album.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He had a song called In the Hip Hop Record His House. Went gold. Now, hip hop heads didn't like it.
I never heard of it.
That was a Warner Brother deal. Benny Medina, people don't know, Shan was the first one chosen to be Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Really?
So they were trying to clean up his image. We did a song called It Don't Mean a Thing with Shan had on a white tuxedo. All that was about trying to clean his image so he could prepare for this TV show.
Really?
Yeah. But him and Benny Medina had a falling out, and he cursed Benny Medina out. And Benny Medina was the executive producer. And, you know, Shan will be Shan. And you know, that was the end of that. You know, because I mean, there were several movies Shan was in before Kane was even in the movie. Because Shan was in a couple of movies with Steve Martin. They were trying to put him with that edge. Okay. You know, let's clean. They liked Shan. All right, let's just say that Shan was like the thug they wanted to be around, and Shan gave them the impression that we can fix this kid. You know, because by Shan hanging out with us in radio, he knew how to act when he was around certain people. Shan's just all round wild now, but back then he knew when to be wild. I should say when not to be. So they had the thing where they wanted him to do this new thing called Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which in this, Benny Medina was raised by the chairman of Warner Brothers. So the initial story
was raised by the chairman of Warner?
Right. Yes. His mother was the maid. She died. They raised him. You understand what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Say that again.
His mother was the maid.
Really?
Was the chairman's maid. She died. And while she was the maid, he was the little boy she used to bring to work with her son.
Okay.
And he was and Mo Austin's son was about the same age. So they played together.
Right.
As little boys. And when his mother passed, they took him in. So the whole story started out being that story. Benny Medina being raised by this family. However, you already had what was that the show with Arnold and what's his face? Different Stroke. We already had the story about the two black kids raised by a white family, so they flipped it. All right, where a black kid's raised by his rich black family, you know. And anyway, Shan's will be that first, and Shan. So they were trying to change Shan's image to house and you know that sort of thing. Didn't work out because Shan just flipped, you know. And you know, I mean, but if you get a chance, you know, everybody, you should check out It Don't Mean a Thing, the video.
Is that the one that Shan did? That's the house type of.
No, that's when it's just a remake of If It Don't Mean a Thing. They got that swing.
Got you.
But you can see the image they're trying to make it.
Oh, got you.
All right, and then the hip hop record, His House, is on that album. Oh, shit. It's MC Shan, him and his wife and his child on the cover. Wow. But it's an all white cover, clean, you know. So, but like I said, it didn't work out because Shan just couldn't. Him and Benny got into a big fight.
Right.
So while I was saying that about the Jungle Brothers, they had such an influence, all right, on even us, that Shan went that direction in terms of the house record. Okay. And yes, they could have been. Remember, I signed Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang wasn't nothing like them. I had Jizza RZA and ODB.
Wow.
All right. Well, they weren't Jizza RZA and ODB at the time. It was Genius, Prince Rakim, and A-Song. But they were Wu-Tang. All right. So they were different than the Juice Crew. I had another crew called the Brooklyn Zoo. And they were so wild that ODB made a record about. They shot him. The Brooklyn Zoo shot ODB.
What? Hold on. So you tell them you signed Wu-Tang first.
Right. Then I signed Brooklyn Zoo.
You signed RZA and Jizza, right?
No, I signed Jizza and ODB.
Oh.
RZA was the producer.
Right. And so,
but they all three was
all
three of them was on the Cold Chillin' tour.
Wow. You know what? I do remember that. I remember them saying something like that in the interview.
So I signed Brooklyn Zoo. They was this. Let me tell you how it went down at Cold Chillin'. The Juice Crew turned their noses up to Wu-Tang and everybody. They were stars. They didn't have time for your little Wu-Tang niggas. They turned their noses up at them, pretty much.
Right.
Wu-Tang was kids. There was, Brooklyn Zoo was real criminals. Real criminals. Really, really criminals.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like, Kane and Jill say, I kept them from getting into criminal activity. Brooklyn Zoo, I was trying to take them from criminal activity. But anyway, they shot ODB. And he made a record about it.
Right.
Don't you remember the record he made about it?
Which one?
Brooklyn Zoo. Shame on you. Don't you remember that?
Yeah.
They shot him.
Wow, that's crazy. I guess he must have said something crazy about him in that record.
Well, there were a song with this. IU was gonna shoot him. I had to bring G-Rap wanted to beat him. I had to bring him off the tour. They called me gonna kill this A-Song nigga Ty. And I had a guy that worked for me named Keith Jackson. He called me and said, Ty, you got to get this guy off the tour. He's gonna get hurt. And I had to fly him home.
With us.
All right, yeah. So I was so I could I have signed the Jungle Brothers? Yes, because I signed different sounds all the time. The only thing that meant anything to me, when you came to me and said you wanted a deal, I would say one thing. Let me hear you. No beat, no track, no nothing. Just let me hear you.
Right.
And when I heard you, I knew whether you could rap or not.
Right.
Because we could always find you the right track. I got Marley, I got Track Masters, I got Flash, I got Premier I could go to, I got Cool Easy Mo B, I got a bunch of producers I could go to.
Right.
So if you could rap, I could find somebody for you. So I would have signed Jungle Brothers, no doubt.
Definitely would have signed Jungle Brothers. I had asked him, Super Lover C, I had asked him based off his roster at Cold Chillin' if Jungle Brothers was to come to Cold Chillin', will he sign him? He said, yeah. I thought, to me, it just, I don't know. I would never see them under Cold Chillin'.
I had another group called Nubian Mob that Kedar brought me.
Okay.
All right, because Kedar gave him a production deal. All right. And he brought Nubian Mob was like Nate Dogg or Warren G, but way ahead of their time. They were doing that sing-songy rap. And their songs were really great, but the world wasn't ready for them.
Right.
Wasn't ready for them to do it. And then because I was willing to wait. When you got something good, it's good. I wasn't like a label that would say, see you. It didn't work out. See you. I was gonna keep trying. I knew they had something going on, you know. But the group and Kedar had a problem.
Right.
So
that's where it was.
That's where it was. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to read a few of the comments in here. I want to shout out. I'm gonna start from the top again and work my way down. I want to shout out Hassan Burton for always checking in. Shout out to Hassan. I want to shout out Def Rocker for always checking in. We got Newark, New Jersey in the building. We got Roxbury, Massachusetts. Rud, let me know when you're ready. Just give me a thumbs up and I'll bring you in the room. You good?
He's ready, man. Bring him in the room. Look at him.
Okay, we all in it. We all in together. Here
yeah, I'm driving. Hey, I ain't ready, but I'm always ready. So
that's
Tyrone, what's good, bro? Soup, what's
well,
good?
who is that?
That's Casanova Rud.
Yeah,
oh, okay. What's up?
Yeah, what's
How
good,
you
what's
doing?
good, man? I'm doing great, man. Best I've ever been.
Listen. At my age, my eyes get bad, and the pictures got smaller.
Yo, what's so funny is the reason why your eyes get bad, you done seen everything you need to see already. So
there you go.
At this point.
There you go.
For sure. So, what's your thoughts, Cass? What's your thoughts about the Jungle Brothers and their impact on the music at that time?
Oh, damn, that's an ill question. Well, they definitely had their own sound.
Right.
They definitely had party type of music, so they was on the party feel, for sure. They definitely had a comical feel about them. Like they would be serious and comical at the same vein.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right.
And they had top-notch production. You know, they were down with the native tongue, so they already had that synergy with that whole movement at the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they always was alive, you know, even though if they ain't have a record out, they could live vicariously through, you know, the native tongues, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Through Trop Quest, through whoever else. So they definitely were pivotal for how the music turned. And I think you had mentioned the house music aspect of it. Because that was a genre, that was like part of hip hop that people didn't really embrace. You know what I'm saying? Because I took to house music a lot. Soup took to it as well. We even had a song called Pancake Flip that was made in the theme of a house song. So they introduced that type of genre to hip hop and that dance field to make it acceptable to like house music. Because at one point it was kind of biased because, you know, people associated house with gay shit. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't be attaching yourself to nothing like that at that time. So they had no problems with doing it. People had no problems with vibing with it. They definitely had personality. All three of them had different personality. It was three of them, right?
Yeah.
Sammy B,
Africa Bam, and Mike G.
So they all had their own character and feel about stuff. So I respected it. You know what I'm saying? I never had an opportunity to really vibe with them a lot. We saw them at clubs and stuff. You know, because like, you know, with me and Sue, we ain't had no group. Like, we ain't had no native tongues. You know, we ain't had nobody that we can latch on to and rock with. So, you know, just to be down with that stuff and to see them flourish in the mix. I mean, I had to respect it because I couldn't hate on it. You know what I'm saying? Because the love is there. When you love the music, you appreciate good music. And they had that for sure.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And Soup, and so what was your favorite record, Soup, of Jungle Brothers? What was the one that did it for you? Cass, I think we lost you for a second.
Yeah, my bad. Let me get back. I apologize.
No problem. Go ahead, Soup. What was your favorite Jungle Brothers record?
For me, my favorite one was the JBs.
JBs?
Oh, when that, yeah. The
JBs!
The JBs! When
that piano?
Yo, when...
Yeah.
That game on you.
You know what I'm saying? That shit remind me of fucking Fat Albert and shit, like playing in the junkyard at some point. You know what I'm saying? But it was dead ass serious.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me one moment.
Problem.
Just pulled up.
Problem.
I use the ladies' room. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Let me
do your thing.
Take them off and bring them back in. But so yeah, JB seemed like the favorite. I like the fact that they helped discover, or they were the founders of the native tongue. And that whole fraction, to me, now this question is for Uncle Ty. Was the native tongues before the Juice Crew, the Juice Crew All Stars?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Because it wasn't too many groups back then in the 80s that were.
I mean, you know, listen, you know, like, okay, we're not gonna go back, you know, but I always tell you the original starts with Magic and Curtis Blow in them.
Right.
The original Juice Crew. But if you want to talk about the Juice Crew All Stars, you gotta start with Shantae.
Okay.
So Shantae is before them. Shan is before them. Biz and Shan is before them. You know. And they might have came out around the same time as Kane and G-Rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But yeah, but the Juice Crew All Stars with Craig G and Trash already existed.
Okay. Okay. So I want to get to a few questions in the room. They said "Done by the Forces of Nature." That was a classic forever. Somebody said, "Holy shit, Casanova Rud and Super Lover C." Let me bring Cass back in. Yeah, we got.
We got a shout out yesterday, from Eminem. That shit surprised the shit out of me.
Oh, really? I was like, oh, really? Oh, listen, we're gonna talk about all that. We're gonna wrap up the talk about the Jungle Brothers, and then we're gonna go into some things that's been happening lately, so we can all kind of share our opinion on it. But I just want to get to some of these questions, and then we could move on from the Jungle Brothers into everything else that's happening and what's happening.
Okay, sound like a plan.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't know the assignment. I apologize.
Nah, ain't no assignment. It's we doing what we doing, but you know, we got a whole bunch of people in the room asking questions. I want to make sure I get to them. So they said they shouted y'all out. Juice Crew back to 83. That's from Hassan Burton. Shout out to Jessica Melendez. She's the moderator for the YouTube channel. So shout out to her. Make sure y'all hit them like buttons. We got a lot of people in the room. No like buttons in here. So hit them like buttons for us. You know what I'm saying? If y'all feeling generous today, you know, donate a cash app to the boys so we can keep things going. Philly's in the building. Who else is in the building tonight? Brooklyn Zoo had a rap song called Boo.
Called what?
They said someone, Frederick Blue put this in the chat. He said Brooklyn Zoo has a rap song called Boo. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like a B-side.
Okay. Fly Tide. Do TJ Swan has an unreleased music for Cold Chillin' Records?
Absolutely.
He does.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody was surprised that Shan was supposed to be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air before Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. I didn't know that.
Before Will Smith.
Yeah, before Will Smith.
Yeah.
Queensbridge in the building. They said DJ Green Hornet in the building. Dartmouth said the Golden Era was extremely competitive, and the JBs had the crown for 20 minutes.
Well, listen, let me tell you something.
Someone said the Messenger 215 said Girls Act Stupidly is a classic. Someone said Hassan Burton said Casanova Rud. Shout out to you. Salute OG.
Peace.
Who else? And Jesus, it's so nice to see you guys. House music all night long. That was Midori Newland. All right, so we're gonna talk about what's happening lately. So one of the things you brought in, Rud, right now, what was you saying before I rudely interrupted you?
I mean, no, I interrupted you guys, but I woke up this morning and people were shouting me out with some Eminem shit. I was like, "Who the fuck is this Eminem shout me out bullshit?" You know what I'm saying? Right. And I just, they say, yo, check it out. Look at 29 mark of the video, or whatever. I looked at it and I seen them saying Super Lover seeing Casanova Rud, and just that coming out of his mouth.
What was this on?
This was on the induction, the Hall of Fame.
He got inducted to the Hall of Fame the other day.
Okay.
And he bigged up Big Daddy Kane.
He
went from he started off with the 2 Live Crew because the number 2.
Right.
And he said
He went
Too Short,
alphabetical
and
order.
then he went to alphabetical order after that, and he got to the S's, and he started off. Yo, shit is crazy, bro. Started off with us, man. So I mean, that shit is unbelievable to me that he can acknowledge us on that stage. That's the first, and I wouldn't think someone of his stature would acknowledge us. I would think,
you know what I do notice,
or somebody else. You know
what I do notice about him. Before he was a hip hop artist, he was a hip hop fan. So you know that's what I've seen all along. He was, you know, and when you came out in the '90s, you bought records. If you was a rap artist in the '90s, you bought a lot of records. Right. You bought a lot of records. You know, rap artists in the '80s didn't buy too many records because they was too much on their own dick. They ain't buying nobody else shit.
unless you was a DJ, you had no choice.
Right, unless you was a DJ. But artists didn't, in particular, buy other people's stuff because it was such let me take that back. They bought Treacherous 3, Fearless 4, Flash, but they weren't buying their competitors too much.
Right.
You know. But in the '90s, where he comes from, you know, that's what he grew up on. So I can see him saying that, mentioning y'all, you know, and because he was a fan.
And that's right on point because that's exactly what he said. You know, he was saying that we were the guys, you know, that inspired him and that we should be up there before him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, so he listed, you know, a whole list of names of people that should have been, you know, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because those were the people that inspired him to be where he is.
And see, you know why I appreciate that? I remember, what's this kid, Macklemore?
Yeah, there was a guy named Macklemore, yeah.
And he wanted to do a song with Big Daddy Kane for being a pioneer. And Kane said, not me. You got to do somebody like Kaz or Melly Mel.
Right.
You know, you can't call me a pioneer before you get to them. You know, and he did a song with Kaz, you know. But, you know, it's we all have to recognize the ones before us, you know. And if you just do that, like, you don't have to, listen, we don't have to ask the artists coming out in 2020 to remember us. But I'll be damned if he can't remember the ones that came out in 2015.
Right.
And the ones that came out in 2015 got to remember the ones that came out in 2010.
Right.
And that's how you get back to us. If you do that, you understand? Because listen, for if we want to be honest about it, if you ask a kid, I'm not talking about artists, a kid, 15 years old now, you ask him to remember us. You ask him to go back 30, 35 years.
Right.
That's a hell of a task.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, I'm a 70s child, 60s, 70s, teenager in the 70s. So 35 years from 75, that's 1940.
Right.
I don't know nothing about 1940. You understand what I'm trying to say? So it would be unfair for me to expect them to know me or anything about what we did. You know, I knew Count Basie, Duke Ellington, Ella Fitzgerald, like that. But I'm sure there were a lot of artists who didn't have that big name. You understand? That didn't get to be on TV and all that, but were right there with them that I don't know about. So it's unfair for us to think somebody should know who we are from 35 years before they were born. Just not a thing. But especially listen, and it's not up to us to say to them, you should know. Well, nobody knows unless you teach them.
So
right?
Absolutely.
Not to cut your wisdom, Unc, I just want to elaborate on that. Eminem's inductee to the Hall of Fame. It was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, correct?
Yes,
that's correct.
And so Soup, did you know that because Cass had threw him off? Did you know that at all? That he had acknowledged y'all?
I started getting a couple of calls last night, and then someone actually sent me the Rolling Stones article. So I actually, I mean, it was thorough.
You know what? You know what's crazy about that is that you got to look at the character of some people, and it goes to show you where their truth stands when it's time and when they have the stage. You know, because he didn't have to name all those artists. He named about 50, 60 artists, but he never forgot. Where it's like with having you two on here, y'all don't even like having Unc and y'all two on here. Y'all don't even know what the 14-year-old craze would have been doing right now. With Unc and y'all on here, like you see, I got my Shirt Kings shirt on. This is 88 to the shout out to Shirt King Nike for making this for me. But yeah, man, it's like y'all mean a lot to hip hop. Don't ever forget that. The reason why I do what I do is because there was a time that nobody cared really about these stories. And I always knew the importance of our history because how I felt was they were going to start at a certain point and say hip hop started there and forget everybody that was from this point down. And that's how I felt like mainstream journalism or mainstream production companies they were creating these shows, like when they were doing shows like what was it, Much Music or Behind the Music. They were only taking platinum artists from those times. They never went back to say, let me tell a story about Super Lover C and Casanova Rud. Let me tell a story about Granddaddy IU. Let me tell a story about Finesse and Sequence. You know, that's what, so I said, you know what? I'm charged with that. I'm charged with that. The Most High gave me the ability to say, you know what? I'm going to tell these guys' story. I'm going to tell it to the best of my ability. And I want people to know their history because before we get to an Eminem, it's you guys. It's before we get to y'all, it's Tyrone Fly Ty Williams having a vision of putting music on the radio. Him and Mr. Magic. That, you know, like if it wasn't for them, New York, we would if it wasn't for Fly Ty and Mr. Magic, what we would have had? What could we have? Probably nothing because according to Unc, most of those people was trying to kill hip hop.
Right. Right.
So, you know, I'm thankful and I'm grateful that at this point in my life, I can circle back and put a highlight on Super Lover C and Casanova Rud, on Just Ice, on MC Light, not by VH1 and MTV, by me, somebody that grew up being a part of it, made money from it, was a part of the culture from 14 up until now. And I'm not changing the story. I'm telling the story how it is. I'm not over glamorifying it and I'm not underestimating it or underrating it. I'm giving it to it how it's supposed to be. So so I just want y'all to know, like outside of Eminem, it's millions of us that look at y'all like that. I'm pretty sure a lot of us had a stage to go on there and thank you and tell you, you know, you guys were a inspiration and motivation to us. It'd be a lot more than Eminem, but I like the fact that he took the time to actually do it.
What I like about what you said about what he did when you said he named 50 guys.
Right.
All right. What that does is it shows the powers that be that it wasn't just one or two, three rappers. All right. There was a whole lot of hip-hop. A whole lot of people that was a part of this culture. All right. It wasn't just the million sellers. All right. There was a lot of people that you might not have heard of, all right, because the time passed you by or whatever. But he took time to name everybody he could.
And apologize for missing out on a few.
Right.
Apologize on that.
Right. So you know, yeah. So that you got to give him. You know, I mean, I give respect where respect is due. And I hear people just straight up lie and say he can't rap. You lying. Eminem is nice with his lyric game. All right.
Yes.
And I heard, you know, he's just that way because he's a white boy. Nah, the boy is good. You gotta give him. He's not. I'm not gonna say he's the best. Well, I'm not gonna say he's whack.
But
he's not whack.
He mastered his craft.
He mastered his craft. You
right.
know, like the wordplay, the stretching of the words. He did that.
Right.
He made words that didn't rhyme. You know, so you got to give him his credit and not just be, you know, we can't be upset just because somebody's white. All right. He came along later when he did. All right. Maybe 20 years after the fact. And he was listening to it. So there's nothing wrong with him wanting to be it. All right. It's a difference. It's just a difference in back in the day when a record label took white groups and had them do the black, and had the black song, had them do the black song over. There's a difference because we got to hit the white audience. You know what I'm saying? Do I Found My Thrill, you know, by Fats Domino over. Do Little Richard's song over, Pat Boone, and sing in that Pat Boone way.
Right.
So we can sell it to white kids. There's a difference. And when a kid sitting in his room, like every other kid, all right, listening to stuff and practicing and hoping one day he could be on, as far as you think this is, one day I could be on the radio. That's as far as anybody thinks it when you're a kid. You ain't thinking about selling records. You ain't thinking about doing shows. You thinking about, I hope one day I can hear myself on the radio. And when you do, you screaming, ah! You yell, you telling everybody in the house, I'm on the radio. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Well, I know I screamed when I first heard Mr. Magic shout us out. It's a world premiere. I know I screamed downstairs, yo, Soup, we on the radio, yo.
No, quick story, right? I think I told the story. I don't know if I told the story, but I was working in Ravenswood Housing. I was a groundskeeper, and I was running one of the lawnmowers. Housing in Queens, it had a ground floor, so the window level was like right there, you know. And I'm pushing it, and the woman had her box, a big boom box, right in the window. And as I'm passing by, all I hear is a world premiere. And then you hear that. Man, when I tell you, right, it's the funniest thing ever because I'm like, I'm telling the young lady, that's my record. That's my record. And I'm like, I'm just going crazy. You know what she did? She said, man, get out of my window and close the window down. But I had no idea that it came on the night before, and she was actually playing it the next day. And I was at work first thing in the morning, man, cutting grass. And there you go, man.
Right. Yeah.
Ups,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, you know, and there's a lot of stories like that, you know, of people hearing their song for the first time, you know, and for hip hop, for a lot of rappers, the first time was with Mr. Magic. Right. You know, then of course Red came along and Chuck, you know, but the first time, you know, was Mr. Magic. You know, and I talk about Magic all the time because he treated rap like it was his baby. And he wanted to take care of it. He wouldn't let, if you tried to abuse it, he attacked you like you were abusing his baby. You know, and I want to tell a story of how when Mr. Magic saved hip hop. August 1984. All right, we're up for a new contract. Now, I didn't just produce the Rap Attack on BLS. I also covered the New York Knicks for the AM station WLIB. I also was the on the street reporter. So we're going in to renegotiate the Rap Attack contract. So we hired an attorney, Bill Kraslovsky. So when me, Magic, and Marley get there, we walk into the general manager's office. They both got big smiles, you know. And so naturally, we see them smiling. We immediately start smiling. Magic, we're gonna put you on every day. Ty, listen, we know you do sports. We're gonna give you a sports show every day on the AM, and you really like to do news. So we're gonna let you do a news segment on AM and FM. Molly, we got this new woman, Mary Thomas. We're gonna give you the lunchtime mix at noon. But no more rap. Look, no more rap. So the general manager, I'm not gonna mention his name, but he says, listen, the majors don't know what to do with it, and they want us to get rid of it. Magic, listen, when Magic is the biggest thing in rap. Magic, if you stop playing it, everybody will think it's over and we can move on. Magic says, what about Curtis Blow? Because this is the Juice Crew at the time. What about Houdini? What about Fat Boys? Listen, we don't care. This is your choice. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. Leave that little rap alone. And we quit. We walked out of that office and turned all that down. Wow. Well, actually, Magic said, let's go. That's the truth be told. Magic said, let's go. And me and Molly looked at him, looked at Warfield, looked at the general manager. Because remember, I want to do this news.
Right.
I want to be a sportscaster.
Of course.
You know, and Molly want to do this noontime mix. But Magic said again, I said, let's go. We walked out with Magic. Magic gave all that up to save hip hop. And people don't know that I watched him do it. All right. Because, all right, then Molly said, what about Red and Chuck?
Right.
The general manager said that the general manager at KISS, if you stop, they're going to fire them. And we can get rid of it all at the same time.
Wow. And
so we quit and went back to HBI, WHBI, where we had to pay to be on the radio. Now, I want you to understand something. They didn't dislike us. They just disliked rap. So by the time I get home, Frankie Crocker done called my house. First of all, Frankie Crocker called my house.
That's crazy.
Right.
He's telling my girl to talk some sense into me. Percy Sutton calling my grandmother. They call Magic's mother, Marley's mother. Talk some sense into them. You know, when I get home, have you lost your mind? For this hippity hoppity trash?
Hippity hoppity.
Oh, God. My grandmother could never say it right. Hippity hoppity. This hippity hoppity trash? But we stuck to our guns.
Right.
And we went back to HBI and understand how crazy it is. You know, when you're young, you could do stuff like that because you're just thinking you could fight the world. You know, you think you could fight the world when you're young, you know. So we did it and we went back to HBI and we crushed them. Crushed them, you know. And at the same time, Roxanne's Revenge took off. And Roxanne's Revenge allowed us to tour the country with the Rap Attack. So everywhere we went, I would negotiate with the promoter. You got to get us a shift on the local station. And the promoter said, I don't know if I could do that. Well, it just so happened that year, Magic was nominated for Air Personality of the Year. The other nominees were Frankie Crocker, Howard Stern, Don Imus, and Tom Joyner, and maybe Donnie Simpson. So whether he won or not didn't matter. But he was mentioned in the same vein as them. So I would tell the promoter, just tell him it's Mr. Magic who's nominated for Air Personality of the Year. So the general manager, the owner of the station would say, okay, bet. When we get there, without fail, they would have done their research and found that we're a rap show. And they would say, well, we don't know how they do it in New York, but you've got to have an FCC license. And I'll show them my license. And we get on. But maybe the best thing that ever happened was them letting us go, because it made us be in 20 different markets. Because once we left that market, we made a deal with the station to be on every week. You know, so I'm just saying, Mr. Magic doesn't get the credit, not for the reason people don't think he doesn't get the credit for. He doesn't get the credit because he, as far as I'm concerned, he saved hip hop. Yeah. Imagine if he said yes. He said yes. Red and Chuck would have got fired, and that would have been that. That would have been that.
Let me ask you a question. Does Red and Chuck know that story?
I've told him that 100 times.
Right. Now, Cass, as an artist, how does that make you feel knowing that story right there?
Well, first of all, I gotta thank Fly Ty for even having the ear that he has to even hear that type of shit back then, to know it would propel and be what it was. And just keep in mind, yesterday Eminem, he only named like 50 rappers, but like 15 of them was on Cold Chillin'. So that's telling you the impact of what he did to hip hop with Mr. Magic and, you know, Frankie Croc and BLS and all that, everything with that. So first of all, I just gotta give you acknowledgement for that. Thank you. Second of all, for me and Soup, it propelled us because when we started, we were in rap contests with USA Roller Skating Rink, and we trying to get on. We were actually battling. Me and Soup wasn't always down. We was battling with each other to get signed to Cold Chillin', to get signed to the Juice Crew. The top prize was to be a Juice Crew member. Soup came in second. Master Ace came in first. So you could have had Super Lover C on Juice Crew at some point with me, probably. So that's how close we are. The timeline or the paradigm could have shifted for at least for us. So that's the impact that Fly Ty had, Mr. Magic, just that time, knowing that Marley Marl, come on, the production, all of that, just having a business mind aspect. I wish I would have been a fly on the wall with some of those meetings you was with back then. So I don't know how I don't know where you got your knowledge from, but super respect for that. Now
I appreciate it.
I know how the business is now. It's a socially engineered type of format. You know what I'm saying? We got the big money machines now behind it. There's an agenda. It's obvious as an agenda. People don't see it as obvious, but I don't want to talk bad about nothing's going on. But it's not the same hip hop I grew up in. You know what I'm saying? I did it for the love. Now it's for the money. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, it's strictly for money. It's not about no love. There's no love in this game. I don't care what you say.
You know,
nobody loved nothing.
That was one of my questions.
Let me say one thing before you get into it. I want to make sure everybody, we got people in the room on Facebook, and we got people on the room and on YouTube. I need y'all to hit them like buttons for me. Y'all getting a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, some stories that you ain't never heard before. Every week we go live, you're going to hear something that you never heard before. So I need y'all to participate by hitting those like buttons. If you feel like you want to donate. We got the super chat. That's cool too. Leave your questions in the room. Go ahead, my bad.
Come on, man. You know when you disturb an old man, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I've been off the train a long time ago. I was on my last train of thought. I'm looking for the transfer.
I got a question for y'all though, because I wanted to talk about some current things that's happening. And one of the current things that's happening is with the whole Kanye West thing. I wanted to bring up and just know what your thoughts, your honest thoughts were about just the reaction from hip hop. To me, it just seems like it's just so divided, meaning that listen to what the man is saying. If there's any truth to what he's saying, then somebody got to feel the same way.
Well, for me, listen.
I don't agree with everything he said.
No, I get twisted with. He says so many things.
Right.
Sometimes I get twisted with what he's, what means what. I know there's the White Lives Matter problem that he wanted White Lives Matter. Then there's the Jews run record industry or whatever. Well, that's definitely not a lie.
Right.
Not a lie. I don't know. I'm still not absolutely certain why everybody's left their association with him. What did he do for that? I hate people reacting in fear. When they say things like, he said, no one better be messing with this. See, now you got fear. I don't have fear. Mr. Magic didn't have fear. We left because we had no fear. All right. And then what I was going to say before, I would ask an artist who came to me, are you doing this for the money or for the love? If they said for the money, I wouldn't mess with them. Because my attitude is, so if the money ain't coming fast enough, you're going to quit.
Right.
But if you love it, you're going to do it. You know, so you know, with Kanye, I got a feeling he got a love for right and wrong. Now there's also, I feel like, listen, I feel like his mother, they killed her. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Because they take away from you your rock.
Right.
Everybody got a rock they can lean on, depend on. When you don't have that, you helter skelter. You ain't got nobody to listen to. And then everybody's coming at you. Because why? You get a lot of money. So everybody coming to you saying you the greatest thing since French toast, kissing your butt, wiping your behind, and bleeding your pockets. If his mother was there, she could say, It's like Allen Iverson's mother. When they said he was paying for 17 people, she came and ran them all out. Get away from my baby.
Right.
That's what his mother would have done. You understand? And we might have a different Kanye West than we have right now. You know, because he could talk to her before he got to what he was going to say, or at least she could come to him and tell him whether it was right or wrong.
Right.
And she seemed like a pretty solid woman, like most of our mothers were. You know, so without her, you know, when they take away your rock, man, when they take away your support system, you know, when artists become large, all of them go through what I call the Michael Jackson syndrome.
What is that?
Nobody likes me for me.
Right.
If you could, everybody loves me because I'm Michael Jackson, but everybody don't like me because I'm Michael Jackson.
Right.
If you understand what I'm saying. All right. You loving me because I'm Michael Jackson making them records and all that. But you ain't loving me for the little Michael Jackson from Gary, Indiana. So I'm confused. I don't know who to believe. You know what I'm saying? I'm scared to get married because does she love me for me or she love me for what she getting? That's a hard pill to swallow. Kanye is that. Are you liking me for me? Are you supporting me for me because you agree with me? Or it's because what I could give you, or, you know, what I could show you. And not even mentally show you, materialistically show you. So are you my friend because of this? Russell Simmons, bring him in. I said to Russell Simmons, this was years ago. I said, Russell, I'm worried about you. Why you worried about me, Ty? I said, I don't see nobody around you who's not getting a check. Who's around you that's not getting a check? And they all kissing your butt. So, you know, that's, and guess what? When the allegations came his way, all them check people ran away.
Right.
Because they weren't truly in his corner. So Kanye, all the check people running away. He ain't got nobody in his corner. So I think what I say, yo, we need to give him the benefit of the doubt, even if he is confused.
And Cass, what's your thoughts?
You sure you want my thoughts on this?
I mean, you here, you gotta.
Because I do the math on a lot of stuff. I mean, like, for me, I never stop studying or researching things. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I all know all of this stuff is predetermined and pre-scripted. When you have the powers that be that have control of media, TV, music, movies, news, everything, every aspect, even the signal that is
carried on.
hertz, the 440 hertz alone is conducive to mind control. They know this. Every radio station is tuned to 440. So you got to understand that anyone that's allowing the message to be heard, allowing people to speak back and retort, it's an agenda. It is obvious. They want you to have this discussion. They want to create division so they can conquer that division. You know what I'm saying? These people that are speaking are agents. Some of them are even double agents for the elite. It has nothing to do with reality. None of this stuff. Kanye probably had to sacrifice things for him to get to where he's at. A lot of these people sacrifice things to get to where they're at because they're money driven, power driven, their ego has taken over. But some people get to the point of no return. And I think that's where Kanye's at right now. He's at the point of no return. He's so deeply, it's deep state. He's so deeply rooted in this system, he can't get out of it even if he wanted to. So the only way he can do that is to self-destruct or self-implode. But I don't think he's self-imploding. I think this is another, he's the double agent. It's another agenda behind that agenda. Because keep in mind who he's sleeping with, the Kardashians. Keep in mind keep in mind who his confidants are, is like Trump and shit like that. Right. Okay? So we already know that he's being allowed to say these things. He's not losing no money. There's no such thing as bad publicity. Is there, Ty?
Nope.
Ty?
Nope.
All right.
Not at all.
There's no such thing as bad publicity. Publicity is you get talked about, you make money, good or bad, doesn't matter. So he knew that. Okay? It's an agenda. Just like Kyrie talking right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask you all about Kyrie.
Another agenda. We all know that the science behind anti-Semitism. We already know it's to protect Jewish people. They like Jews. They're not the true Jews.
Right.
Cush, Ham, Arcadians, Babylonians. I mean, I could just go down the whole list in Africa. That wasn't even Africa then. Ikabuyan, whatever you want to call it. Everything that has been stolen from us, refabricated, regurgitated, refabricated again until we are washed out of history. These people are representing us that should not be representing us. I don't care who the fuck is out here. Kanye West, Kyrie, all of these people are agents to the elite because you will not be able to succeed in this country unless you were. They allow you to be seen and allow you to be heard. If you're being seen and heard, you must have sacrificed something. Trust me.
Well, I know one thing. A lot of those guys are. Well, I think a lot of people is on the fence with Kyrie. I think his position and his positioning. But what I want to say is, it's kind of ironic. It's two separate guys, two different situations, but the same things are happening to them. Meaning they're losing their I guess the perception to everyone else is they're losing their monetary value or their relationships, and they're showing this to the world. I think it's something with that. That's why they do it. It's totally like a public flogging or something, right?
Now, and if you notice, a lot of these people that are thrust into the forefront to speak about stuff, either backing down, conforming to the shit, agreeing with, oh, I'm sorry. They want to show, if we put our foot on your neck,
right,
this is what's gonna happen to you.
Right.
All of that time, all that struggling you're doing to get up here, if you act up, this is what's gonna happen to you. It's just it's just to show you who's in control still. Right. We have no control. We have no control.
And see, you know what they do. Listen, Kyrie and Kanye both said in different words. They said the same thing at one point. I'm ready to go to war.
Right.
Kyrie said that. Kanye said, y'all don't control me. I got my own money.
Right.
I got my own. Then what happened? Foot on the neck. You don't really have your own. Now
never have your own. And they probably wouldn't even spoke up, Ty, if they didn't have the money that they amass right now.
Right.
Because a lot of us trying to, we do this shit every day. Some of us go to corporate offices, put on the facade. Hey, how's it going, sir? You're not even your fucking self when you're speaking to these motherfuckers every day.
Right.
They don't respect you. So the music was created to give a format for us to release the shit that they wouldn't allow us to speak on no other formats. We had to create this shit from the grassroots, from underground, and have it birth itself from out of its own existence. Nobody brought this to the forefront. If it wasn't for brothers like Fly Ty and Red Alerts and Marley Marl, nobody even really know what the hell hip hop was.
Right.
Let alone make money off of it. Now, once the big money machine came in here, it changed the whole narrative. It took control of the market. People that should have been seen weren't seen no more. People that were generating money for labels, they didn't need them anymore because we knew how to generate money without them. So everybody that was of value is of no value now. That's why we're lost in the source. We lost in the mix because we've been written out of our history again. Right. Again. Because we give control of everything to these motherfuckers. Soon as we make something, we so starving for money, we give it up.
There you go.
You know, when
I got enough money now. Here you go.
Right. You never listen.
It's the gentrification.
Malcolm told us years ago.
What the fuck happened? We moved soon as grandma died. We sold the house and let them break the shit up and move in motherfuckers that's don't supposed to be
there
living
you go.
where we fucking cultivated the land.
Right. Right. I think at this point, right? So check this out, and we could carry on with the conversation because I think it's getting good. Because hip hop is about life and it's a way of life. And so one of the things I made a post this week, and I said, what if United States now? You know they got all these killings because this is the other thing I want to talk about. You know
it's the byproduct of hip hop. Continue, please.
Right. And so what I was saying was, what if United States said, let me bring it back. So a lot of us, like yourself, Uncle Ty, myself, we were able to make money off of hip hop. You know, we were able to make some money. Not some made more than others, but we were able to. I was able to make a living off of hip hop, personally. You know, from the start to finish, I was able to do a lot of things because of it, and so I was able to reap some of the benefits that say a Kool Herc wasn't, or a Grandmaster Cass wasn't, or a Busy B wasn't, or you know a Coke La Rock or T La Rock. My point is, it got to the point where this was almost looked at. Hey, if I get into the music business, I could potentially change my life, make millions of dollars. Okay, so now we're at that point where artists are making millions of dollars, not just through music, but the opportunities to go into film, go into acting, go into different industries and make money, but piggyback it off of music. So now we're in a place where we can change the trajectory of our families, our generations, our children. And I said, what's happening now, like you said, it's a byproduct of hip hop. It's what we see, what we hear. And it's all, in my opinion, demonic driven. Because everything is about death and kill, and I'm gonna do this to you, and I'm gonna do it. Like just everybody. Even if you take R&B, and that's why it's so good. Like Unc said earlier, go back and look at what the music was. Take a listen to it. Have an open mind to what we were doing then to what's happening now. Because you got to look at the past to know where you're going. And sometimes the past will straighten out the future if you take a chance to look at it. But my point is, I made a post and I said, with all that being said, what if the United States said, we're banning hip hop music? You can't play it. You can't do no shows. They can't play it on the radio. They can't play it on TV, and you will go to jail. Then I said, what is left for us?
Now that ain't gonna work. It'd be like prohibition.
I think it probably reset. It probably would reset hip hop.
It will reset. That's how I believe.
It would bring it back
like
to,
I said,
to its original form.
It'd be like prohibition when they said no alcohol. Make speakeasy.
Make it more popular.
Right.
Make it more popular. All right. So listen, you know, you talk about how this thing's become demonic, so forth. I always thought about controlling it many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I might have told Craze this. All right. Me, Russell Simmons, but first of all, people don't know Russell Simmons and Andre Harrell were my roommates at one time, the three of us. Okay. So now let's fast forward. All of us, we in the money.
Keep in mind, they were roommates before the labels.
Long before the label. Long before.
That's crazy.
No, when the rent was $200 a month, we couldn't afford it. So, you know. that time, you know. So fast forward, we getting crazy. We there. And Andre had a party. He had just bought this house, this big giant house out in New Jersey. And the party was over. Except for me, Andre, and Russell in the house. We sit at the table, sit in the living room, talking, lounging. And I said, you know what, Joe, we should merge. We got everybody. We don't need the majors. Why don't we merge? I said, come on. We got Big Daddy Kane, Roxanne, Shantae, MC Shan, Cool G Rap, Kid Capri, Granddaddy IU, Biz Markie, LL Cool J, Public Enemy, Slick Rick, Dougie, Jazzy Jeff Fresh Prince, Mary J. Blige, Heavy D, Jodeci, Jeff Red, Christopher Williams, Albie Shore. Why do we need them? We got everybody. And my brothers, it was like I was talking to some strangers. What do you mean merge? What do you mean merge? Well, you know, the three of us should get together. But what are the splits going to be? I said, check this out. The two of y'all can take 40%. I'll take 20%. Because it's not about the money. It's about the statement we're going to make.
Right.
It's about the control we're going to have. I got radio. We don't need them for radio. We got all the music. I said, come on. They don't have nothing. Now, this is what's going to get you at the same. They had, I don't know if you remember, there used to be a booking agency called Norby Walters.
Yep. I remember
Norby was a Jewish guy. For some reason, he liked me. Like a lot of those, he was a gangster. A lot of those gangster types liked me, whether it was Morris Levy, Joe Robinson, because I was a listener. And at this time, they're all older men like me. They like to talk. All right. And I liked to listen when I was young. So,
like
right. So anyway, so I said, listen, well, if we don't do a label, well, let's do a booking agency. They can only book our artists when they're hot. If we got the booking agency, our artists, even when they don't have hit records, they can work all the time because we'll be in charge of all the tours. We'll think about it. That Monday morning, Norby Walters called me at my house and said, Ty, what's this about you want to start a booking agency? I couldn't believe it. They called him and told him, Ty wants to go free.
You know what's crazy, Unc, is that I'm gonna let Cass.
But no, I gotta finish this.
Okay, sorry.
I gotta finish this. All right. So, and he says to me, Norby, he says, and this is a white man talking to me. He said they couldn't wait and run and tell the master. He said that to me. And he said, Ty.
Hold up. You telling me
Norby said to me, a white Jew said they couldn't wait to come and tell the master.
And he talking about Russell and Andre.
Yes, and he said, I'm telling you right now, don't ever trust him again.
Wow.
All right. So I'm not listening. I'm hearing him. I'm just, I just got my mouth open the whole time. I couldn't believe it. Eyes wide, mouth open. Because I come from a different community. All right. Especially not one that's going to go share something with a white guy. That ain't my community. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Just wasn't that way, So I was shocked. I'm thinking maybe it's because they're from Queens and the Bronx. I don't know.
Nah. We don't do that out in Queens either, my brother.
All right, but I'm just saying, at that time, I'm trying to figure out what would make them do that. Like, really? Fast forward, yo, Puff, you and Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri should merge.
What's the splits?
So I've even had somebody tell me, I haven't told to put Kedar down with those situations. Kedar, I've seen him, I forget, I don't want to say the wrong word. One of them said to me, we can't beat them white guys. I want to slap fire out of him. Because if we stick together, we can beat whoever we want to beat. All right? And it's not about, it's control. When you talk about, you mentioned earlier about the gentrification, when you sell grandma's house. All right? Craig can tell you, I own property. I ain't sell mine. I'm reaping the benefits to show. All right? They charge $3,000 an apartment. I'm charging $3,000 apartment for 2 bedrooms. You want one of my 3 bedrooms in Park Slope? $3,800. That's the going price. But I also have a building in Crown Heights, buildings in Brownsville, where my prices haven't changed. All right, it stays the same for the same people who've been living there for 20, 30, 25, 30 years. All right, so I get it. You know, and when people complain about gentrification, I say when they came, they didn't come with guns. They came with money.
They gave it up smooth.
They gave it up smooth. And guess what? It wasn't grandma, because grandma's attitude was, if I sell you my house, where I'm going.
Right.
But grandchild or child, they couldn't listen. They sell it. It'd be 8 of them. They sell it for $1 million.
Right.
And that means they ain't getting nothing.
Right. But the lawyer get at least $250.
You know what I'm saying?
And you think about it, and your ancestors worked damn near their whole lifetime to build and amass that amount of money for you to have some equity in the future. See, we dropped the ball too, my G. If I can add on to stuff, Ty.
Yeah, add on, build on to that.
The thing is that, all right, we created hip hop, right? With the start of it. We let the radio take it over. We let the big companies take it over. We haven't educated anybody about it.
Right.
We haven't. I mean, if we sold the shit, that's okay. But at least educate the people how it went about. You know what I'm saying? Who took over who took it over? Who changed the narrative? Because we dropped the ball because we haven't taught the youth where they came from. The DJ dropped the ball because they getting paid to play records. You know what I'm saying? Before, like you said, Ty, you took a chance with just playing stuff because you felt you wanted to give everybody a chance. Everybody don't get a chance now. Everybody don't get a chance. Everybody can make stuff and try to put it out on IG and Twitter, but it don't mean it's gonna pop the way that it's gonna pop right now. Because the narrative has changed. If you're not speaking the same language as these drill rappers are popping right now, you're not getting no play nowhere. I don't care what you say. That main money, that overseas money, that going across the town, you're not getting that money unless you conform and be part of this system. Now, once you align yourself with the devil, once you align yourself with negative entities, it becomes so polarizing. You can't break away from it. It's like a magnet. You get magnetized by it.
Yes, sir.
You got to have exit velocity. You got to have like damn near 10 times the amount of power to escape it. Right. And some of us are not even educated enough to escape it and know what to do after it. So they have no other choice but to follow the path that has been given to them, because we don't teach children financial literacy. Right. We don't teach them other ways of how to make money, the business of money, the business of music. We don't teach them that stuff. All they know is to do to press the button. They don't even mix their own music. They get stuff from YouTube and got a guy in the room recording it from a left and right and just EQing that. There's no science behind it no more either.
No.
The whole thing has been changed to a money machine. Nobody has no guidance. Before, we used to have creative control. We had artist development. You know what I'm saying? We would sit down and come out with a way, like a plan how to market certain things. These people are all, just like you said earlier, Craze, it's shoot, kill. You got women. Our women, when they were spitting, I ain't never seen MC Light Titty before.
Right.
No.
I never seen Latifah's ass being shown.
Let's take it deeper than that. The hardest girl, roughest girl was Roxanne Shante, and I never seen her titties.
Damn.
Never seen her. Guess what? Never seen her nipple. I mean, her navel. Never seen her navel.
Right.
You understand? So these girls have respect for themselves.
Right.
You know, and I agree with you. There's an agenda to making strippers, girls want to be thoughts. They want to be thoughts.
Right.
And being a stripper is cool. When that was a time, it was not the thing to do.
Well,
everybody, You scroll on any kind of social media platform, every other picture is somebody shaking their ass, bro.
That's right. And mothers with their daughters.
And you see their daughters twerking. They singing the songs, twerking in the corner. 9, 10 years old.
Right. Yes.
Just over there just cheering it on.
Yeah.
And I would say the father's there too, but that's another agenda. The last 2-3 decades, the war on drugs, crack, people getting in prison wrongfully, doing time for a nickel bag of weed. I mean, that agenda separating the man from the family was also an agenda.
Well, you know what? That's not a new agenda.
Oh yeah,
just a different way.
Bring that up. That's just regular shit.
That's regular shit. Listen. Think about when I was growing up, and your mother had to be on welfare, and the father could not be in the house for her to get it. Now the jobs pay so little, you had to have welfare. So the father, if he had to act, even if he had to act like he wasn't there, and they got social workers coming asking the kids, "Have you seen your father?" If the child says yes, they cut you off. You couldn't have an iron in your house. You couldn't have a toaster. All right. What stopped that? The women start kicking them social workers behinds, and they stopped that. But all of that, trying to keep the only way you're gonna prosper is you get rid of this man. All right. If the man's around, you can't prosper. Your kids can't prosper. All right. And even listen here, even if he's there, the fact that he has to sneak away when a white woman comes is an indelible mark in your child's psyche. You understand?
And the most impressionable years are the years between like 7 years old and 12. That's when the matrix of your mind develops.
Exactly.
The logic and reasoning systems. That's when they start to the neuron connections start to become really solidified at that point. And you carry this programming up into your late years. A lot of the stuff you react on today is based on trauma from what you had when you was a child.
So I wanna go, not to cut your wisdom, but I want you to elaborate on what I said. So my question was, do y'all think that the state that hip hop is in, because I think all these killings is an epidemic, because it's just happening and happening and happening and happening. So,
filling up privatized jails, it's just all for a reason.
Yes. So all these young artists are getting killed by guns. People are just killing them now. So
all locked up, RICO laws and whatever.
Right. So my question to you guys: do y'all think it could possibly be a chance that they say they will ban hip hop? And if not, why? And if so, why?
Who's gonna ban hip hop? They're getting paid. They make us. You mean the powers that be?
Yeah, I'm talking about.
They make them listen.
Just a question.
You talked to me about Lyor earlier. I think it was.
Right.
And Lyor, I went out with him a few times in the last. Well, let's say before the pandemic and after the pandemic. And he took me out. So I know Lyor. He wants to see what Tyrone is up to. All right. So, Ty, come have dinner with me. I got a new restaurant on 52nd Street, blah, 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 blah. All right, I'll meet you there. We get there. Ty, why don't you run 300 for me with Kevin Lyles? Lyor, the music industry, I'm past that. That's just not me anymore. Come on, Ty, how much money we can make? I said, yeah, I know. I can imagine. He said, no, you don't know. He said, remember back in the day, you press a record, you sell it, all right, you can sell it, you spend 90 cents a unit, and you could sell it for $8.25 or whatever. He said, now, you ain't got to spend nothing on a unit, and you still can make that same $8.25. How much money we making now? All right. He was asked on Breakfast Club or one of them shows recently.
I was gonna get to that.
What do you think about this killing going on? Records that should have gone on record. Lyor said we got to make money somehow.
Right.
I got mouths.
No, he said I got mouths to feed.
I got mouths to feed. Right. I got mouths to feed. Something like that. Right. I got mouths. So
asked him that question.
Right. So listen, He didn't dodge it. He didn't say, "Oh, we got to do something to stop it." He ain't front and like on one side say, "I want to stop it," and underneath say, "I don't give a damn." He said straight up, "I don't give a damn."
He said, "Yo, he wanted to respond to it, but he got tongue tied."
Right.
He said, "I already answered that question."
Right.
Because Charlemagne exposed him, so
Right.
he elaborated on it further. So he's in. You already know.
I know. Listen, I know Lyor.
He's probably the biggest of all the agents.
Now, see what I know about Lyor. When you call him, what they call him, the Jewish whatever they call him. Now, only thing I can say about Lyor is this: I met Lyor at the same time me, Russell, and Andre was living together. All right. Then Russell gets shortly after. Run DMC gets hot. That changes everything. All right. Lyor started out as Run DMC's roadie, not even road manager, because Ronnie Ray was the road manager. Lyor carried the bags, and I watched him move from roadie to road manager. Not Def Jam. Rush was owned by Andre Harrell and Russell. Next thing you know, it was a three-way partnership. Then Andre was gone. It was Russell and Lyor. And I watched him just systematically go up the ladder. Now, he didn't have what I want everybody to understand. He didn't know anybody. He had no family in the game. It wasn't like nobody gave him nothing. But he had that killer instinct. And since and he could play both sides. And he was allowed to play both sides. And when they talk about and so I don't want to promote Lyor or justify what he did, but what I will say is this: several other people have the same opportunity, not everybody, as him. All right, but they didn't take advantage of it. Or they did. Russell took advantage of it. Andre took advantage of it. Other people, Luke Skywalker took advantage of it. However, what Lyor did have in his favor, he was a white boy, so they could talk to him differently. You understand? When I went to somebody, I had to talk about saving the brothers and looking out for the people. Lyor could say, "I got these niggas I'm getting paid off." You understand?
I had a meeting with Lyor. He tried to sign me in suit to Def Jam.
Okay.
He said, "You got one day to think about it."
Mm-hmm.
We got up and said, "No, we ain't got to think about it." It's no. We left the office. Best deal I never made.
But listen, Lyor is not the head of YouTube. He's the head of YouTube.
Right.
Okay. He was the head of Google.
All government owned programs.
He was the head of Warner Brothers. He went on and on and on and on. All right. And he is who he is. And moves on, and he's making money, and he's
hit them super chats. Y'all getting some real good information. Hit them super chats. Boost up them likes so this algorithm could go up. Y'all getting some information that y'all ain't never heard before. I told y'all, every time y'all tune in, y'all gonna hear something and get some conversation and get some wisdom and some education.
And understand this, Lyor doesn't even live in the United States anymore. Lyor lives in London. So he ain't, you know what I'm saying? He did what he did. He got paid like he got paid. He moved on, and now he's international.
Right.
Worldwide, WorldCom.
Right.
Okay. And he lost the artist the other day.
Yeah.
Take Off. That was his artist. I remember meeting them before they even went out. Lyor introduced them to me, and that's another sad situation. What's up with that? Every time I turn around, an artist getting killed. That's just.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier.
That's the culture now.
Go ahead.
That's just the mentality. I mean, and like you were saying, Craze, it's definitely going to be leaning towards the type of music band. Maybe not the whole genre itself. Not, you can't stop a movement because hip hop is a culture. It's not just music. Right. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is dance, dress, language, music. The business of music can be stopped. Yes, that part can be stopped. But just like we were saying, anything you make illegal, you're gonna propel it, make it even more desired and sought after.
I just don't believe they want to stop it
because it's too much money. It's too wild. You even see it on breakfast,
all kinds of commercials. Every commercial.
Everything is hip hop. People that don't even want to be hip hop are doing hip hop. People that don't even like black people be doing hip hop.
Yes, you know what I'm saying. And see, like you said before earlier, Cass, the government is involved. So the government now has found a new way to eliminate people.
It ain't new, because when you go back in time, they were banning shit back then too. The first syndicated show was college football on the radio,
right?
And Amos and Andy,
right?
Okay,
I remember that.
The Noble Drew Ali was giving information around that time period, 1924, 20 whatever. And he was starting to make a difference. Grassroots.
All the black Moors out there.
Now, also, the CIA came into fruition at that point too, because they knew the impact of the radio could have on society, because they seen how Amos and Andy was propelling all of these years. They changed the message in their show into a message. I think they were talking about the Grand Sardine Club or something like that. But the Noble Drew Ali had something similar to that, and they were trying to debunk or to mimic it, to make it seem like it was comical. His information he was providing, making it sound less believable. So they seen how that engineered program had a difference on the masses alone with the radio technology then. So they've been perfecting this for decades. They had
ever since, let me tell you something. Ever since they had the first talkie, all right, in the movies. Talkie. They call them talkies. Remember, there was silent movies before.
Charlie Chaplin was with the Charlie Chaplin
talkie, the first time somebody talked on a film. All right. And somebody in the government said, wow, what if we did that for real? Hold up. What if we made movies? What if we forwarded our agenda on this movie? What if we forwarded our agenda on this TV show?
Right.
I'm gonna tell you something, and the way TV and radio influences people, I'm gonna tell you how it influenced me. Growing up, I went to a very special junior high school in Bedford-Stuyvesant. Probably the best education I ever got. Stephen Decatur Junior High School, 35. All of our teachers, I would have said, with all the exception of maybe 5 or 6 teachers, everyone was black, and they were HCBC graduates. And they were determined to teach us, and they did it. I went to an all-white high school. Well, not all white. They say it was 70% white, 25% black. So, I played football. I made friends with some white boys. So I go to this white boy house. I walk past what I thought was his sister's bedroom. I said, oh, well, your sister got a nice bedroom. He said, that's not my sister's bedroom. That's my mother and father's bedroom. And I said, your mother and father sleep in the same bed? Because from watching TV, I thought white people slept in twin beds. All right? Because that's what it was. Whether it was Ozzy and Harriet, Lucy and Desi, Rob and Laura, they slept in twin beds. So you are trained by TV to believe this is whatever culture, how they live, and the way they frame us is in a negative light,
right?
Like.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
I wanted to say, so that's all well, but I'm gonna play on the other side of that. See, as artists are creative, and then they write the lyrics that they write, and then they perpetuate what they want. I was a music video director in the music business for quite amount of years. I did over 60 music videos. A lot of my stuff played on MTV, VH1, and I did a lot of music videos in the mid 2000s. My point is, the artists at the time had a lot of control over what we shot. They worked with me as a director, what my vision was, when I did a treatment. So I say all that to say this. There's a heavy responsibility just as much on the artist as it is the machine, as Cass said, that's pushing it. The artist can make a conscious decision to change the messaging, the images, but they don't.
The money's too good now, bro. The money's too good. When they waving a contract in front of you, yo, you can get 3 million if you just do everything like you did last album. If you send us some stuff, we're gonna pick through it and let you know which ones we're gonna put out. If they start noticing the only ones that they want out are these type of songs, kill, 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 fuck, 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 and promote pharmaceutical products. These are the only ones they accept, and shit, I ain't gonna make nothing but these because they not listening to the other joints I'm presenting on the albums.
Right.
I'm giving them 20 songs. They only like these three. Then I might as well just make more shit like this because I'm wasting my time doing the other songs. Bro, everything is pressure. Everything is pressure. When this money got your foot on your neck and you can lose it, you conform. I don't care what walk of life, because if you've been starving your whole life and you have an opportunity to get your family up out of this, to get yourself up out of this, you're not gonna care because you're already in a culture. Now you've been raised by a culture that don't give a fuck anyway. Now, this culture don't give a fuck. We got the smartest youth in the world right now in this generation, but they the dumbest because they got no fucking guidance. They have no guide. They have every bit of information in their fingertips. I wish I had the internet when I was growing up.
Absolutely.
I wish I had access to distribution, to my own publicity. But no, we keep giving them what the fuck we make, signing off contracts, being contractually obligated to people because of this fucking money. We can make money with just each other. They complain, they get up in the limelight and they complain about getting 0.001% for a stream. Then why are you signing with these motherfuckers? Why are you putting your shit on the format?
Right.
Oh, you just happy with these little bit of shows you doing? You don't realize them little bit of show money don't last a lifetime. Your royalties do. Your percentages of what your masters do. Your child can get paid a lot. If you die, they can get your royalties for the rest of their damn life.
And their children.
And their children.
Right.
But no, we don't think like that. So it's the lack of education.
Right.
It's the lack of providing information once you know it. Okay. It's the lack of having some type of integrity. Okay. We've lost all integrity. We have no morals. Okay. We don't even have a gender anymore. Everything's mixed. They forcing our children to pick a gender at an age when they don't even know what toy they want to play with yet.
Right. Right.
So we giving too much control to too many people that don't look like us. We give too much control to people that don't care about us, and they're gonna give us little crumbs. If you're getting $1 million, what you think they making?
Well, let me ask this question: do you guys think that whole scenario just really lands in music, or is that in sports as well as film?
Oh, listen, it's everywhere. All right, and it's in the entertainment industry. All right, whether it's sports, music, movies, it's all of that.
You only getting to one level, my G. You only getting to one level. Right. Sports, you don't become.
And see, listen. They could raise the amount of money, but guess what? You see how there's a certain number of artists who end up complaining at the end of the day. You could bet some of these artists that's out now getting all these crazy millions. 20 years from now, they're gonna be complaining. Because the million's gonna be gone. They're gonna be back to zero. They're gonna be talking about how they got 0.001%. They robbed me. But you knew when you signed that you were signing that. See, the thing about it is record companies don't try to trick you. They just promise that they hit you off with the check. So all you care about when you signing is the check, what they said it's going to be.
Where the bag? Where's my bag at?
If I got my bag, I'm signing, and you telling your lawyer don't do nothing to mess up this bag.
And Ty, look how satisfied they are. They're up there holding money up next to they. Yo, look at my money, yo.
Yeah.
They making money phones, money beds.
Yes.
Come on, that ain't no money.
That ain't no money.
They can type in them serial numbers and make them shits void. That's not even real money.
Right. That's
right.
That shit don't even got no value.
Don't got no value.
So let me ask you guys this question, and we're gonna wrap it up in the next 10 minutes. But my question to you guys is: artists that speak out like Kanye, artists,
Agent,
athletes like Kyrie,
agent.
Is it smart for artists in 2022 to speak their mind to their audience?
Well, let me just. I want you to close it up, Ty, because I'm very controversial. So let me just get mine out the way first, okay? Because you definitely got a more level head than me. I'm trying to burn down Babylon right now. You know what I'm saying? Okay. The thing is that the whole key is to make sure you have identity. The whole format of hip hop when we started is to show and express ourselves, what we feel about life.
Right.
Nina Simone said an artist's job is to reflect the times they living in, not create the times they living in with fabrications in the mind. Because most of these things people spit and they're not even living. Okay. Right. So it's creating a narrative for these other kids that listen, they pick it up. So we got to watch our message. That's the first step. We got to educate. Okay. Not indoctrinate, educate people so they know what's more out here than just hip hop. There's more than just rapping. There's more than just playing basketball. It's more than just acting the fool on TV, being a buffoon, dressing up like Tyler Perry. Okay, you can have your integrity and be behind the scenes and make money. And everybody can't spit. So why everybody trying to spit? There's always you got to know your lane so you know your strengths. Mm-hmm. You key on your strengths. You got to know your strengths. Okay, don't sell out because it seems like everybody's selling out. They have no direction. It's all everyone picking up the same thing from the last thing that's hot. Back then we had beat by the dope style takers. Now you sound like somebody, you get pushed up in the front. Yeah, listen to him. He sounds like Drake. See, we are a lost culture right now when it comes to hip hop. We are lost. We have no true leaders in hip hop. We have no true identity. It has been taken over by whatever this demonic source is. You got people. I'm very passionate about this, bro. I grew up loving this. This is what I am made from hip hop. I am the fabric of hip hop. Everything I do is hip hop. When I see this stuff that's out now, it's devastating to me. It feels like that's why I don't even like doing music no more, bro. That's why I don't like doing interviews. If you see me not come on all the time, talk about hip hop and celebrate it, because I don't want to. Because this ain't what I want to celebrate. I'm not giving none of these people life. None of them. They're not getting none of my energy, and I'm not aligning myself with them. And I don't want them to make money off. I don't want nobody to make money off of me on their formats either. Right. All right. That's just the way I feel. I'll do anything for you, Craze. I see you got integrity. The rest of these Vlad TVs, the rest of these breakfast clubs and the drink champs, please. I wish they would. I would never go on these agent platforms because they all out here perpetuating a narrative for us to follow so we can keep arguing amongst each other. Yes. My bad. They burning it all down while we arguing, bro.
Right.
And taking it over. It's too late. It ain't never going back. It's not our hip hop no more. It is not our hip hop no more.
No.
Okay, before we close out, I got two more questions for y'all, but go ahead. These will be the last three.
Ty, please, yeah, just tell them the state. I'm just the state of. This is the state of hip hop.
Well, mine is simple. Right? I stated it earlier. You said you talked about people speaking their minds. Should they do it? Artists, whatever. I said it earlier. Mr. Magic walked out on the bag for his integrity. All right. So I feel the same way 35 years later. All right. For my integrity, I don't need the money. I'm not taking the money. All right. There's so many different times I could have taken money. You know, I was told by, I'm not even going to mention his name, a black mogul. This is like in around 2005. Everybody want to put you down. But you know why? They don't want to put you down. Why? Because you never cooperate. I said, that's the best thing you could have said to me. Because I'm never going to cooperate. Not with that bull y'all want me to cooperate with. I'm not with poisoning my kids' minds. You know, I don't know if you know, I have a youth program I've had since 1996 that I deal with. Brooklyn United. It's a marching band, affectionately known as the Brooklyn Steppers. Over 200 kids a day, every day. All right, from 8 to 18. And without getting too deep into it, that so-called at-risk kids. What I'm most proud of, since 2002, we sent close to 1,300 of these at-risk kids to college, most of which graduate and go on to professions or whatever they want to do. Okay. So that's what I spend my life on. What you were talking about earlier, teaching our kids. All right. And you have to march, you have to have an 80 average. But that doesn't mean you have to have an 80 average to get in. We take you as you are. Some kids come up with 40 average. 40 average means you just don't go to school. And there's a lot of different reasons kids don't go to school. Don't mean that they're bad. Could be home problems, clothing problems, bath problems, that they just embarrassed. So we take them as they are and we help them. All right. And we educate them. We make them understand about the whole plan we have, what we call the networking plan. 1,300 graduates since 1996. You know how many other jobs and internships that creates for each kid? I got all these other people I could call or they could call. Well, no matter, and a multitude of fields. All right, that we can, it's self-help. All right, it takes time. Can't happen overnight, you know, and you got to be willing to put the time in. You know, I use my influence to get artists to come because that's how I got to get the membership up. We became known as the band that at the practice, any kind of artist could show up. Jay-Z could show up, Puff could show up, IU could show up. You know what I'm saying? So every kid wanted to be in it. All right. And, you know, now we're the official marching band for the Nets, the Knicks. Every time, if you see a marching band on commercial, it's probably some of our kids. All right. Because, so I'm very proud of that. All right. And I've had kids say to me over years, well, because I didn't come in with them knowing exactly who I was. Eventually they did learn. And they only know about what they see or you saw at the time on TV. Well, if you do this, and I put my own money in, I bought horns, I bought uniforms, all right, because it wasn't about the horn or the uniform. That's just the carrot before the horse. I'm just trying to save my kids, all right? And they would say things like, well, Puffy got more money than you. Why he don't put money? Don't count
Can't
other
speak for him.
money.
Right.
Listen, don't count other people's money. All right, you can't tell anybody to do with anything with their money. This is what I want to do with mine. Or I don't know what they want to do with
that's right.
I don't know what they want to do with that, you know. So, you know, I received an award at Howard University at Howard's homecoming. All right. This past, because I graduated from the Howard University School of Business. Mm-hmm. And I received this award. It was from Warner Brothers and Howard, collectively. Right. And I founded a club along with my man Kasim back in 1977 at Howard called Club New York. Because when we went to college, New Yorkers at Howard were first generation college students. It was the Southern kids that were second, third, and fourth generation. Everybody coming from New York and Philly, their parents ain't seen no college. All right, so we didn't understand fraternities and sororities, so we started our own thing. All right, and so that they also included that in the award ceremony, you know, and it was because of things like that that I did on Howard's campus at Warner Brothers and in the School of Business that they honored me for, and also because since 2002. I've been sending kids from the marching band to Howard. Now, because you went to Howard and was in the marching band, didn't mean you had to major in music. You just had to get the right grades to get the scholarship.
Right.
Okay. Well, you went to Hampton. We even got some Ivy League kids, and then we became the band, that slick Brooklyn band, where every marching band had to have one of them. So if it was Penn State or UCLA or USC, you had to have a Brooklyn stepper. All right. So that, which I always wanted to do for my, and I went to my neighborhood. I want you to understand this. My neighborhood, where I came from, Albany Projects. All right. And I went immediately there and started pulling kids, put them in the band. All right. So I knew how I was going to feel to them when they went to a school, a black school, and seeing people look like them going to college. So before I even got my first kid a scholarship, I took trips to Hampton, to Howard, to Delaware State, to Morgan, just so they could see that other kids that look like them are in a college, because they had no idea.
Right.
Like, I had no idea. When I went to Howard, it was like amazing to me. I met people who had professional parents. I didn't know nobody who had parents who was doctors and lawyers until I went to Howard. Everybody I knew in Brooklyn who was making money was illegally making money. I went to Howard University and actually met people that were making money legally, living. Do you know what I'm saying? And they were all, listen, if you went to Hampton, Virginia, Newport News, Virginia, those were black belts of people helping each other. If you went to PG County before it was black, help. Aberdeen, Maryland. I saw things I'd never seen before. Durham. I never knew that black people ran shit. Even DC, when Marion, what they wanted, I don't care what they say about Marion Barry. DC was Chocolate City. And they ran it. And it was professional. Everything was back. The police department, every fire department, everything. I never seen anything like that. So I wanted my kids to be exposed. And so as a parent, but you got to understand, you got to expose your children to the proper thing.
That's right.
If you don't expose them to the proper thing, they will never know it. All right. And you could take a trip, take your kids to a HCBC if you want to. You could go visit the campus. You go into different schools, and they'd be happy to talk to your children. They're always friendly and open. But the main thing is your child will see somebody that looks like me goes to college. So they get that in their head. When it's in your head, you want to do it. And that's what we have to do. I mean, I'm all with the entertainment, the music, and the hip-hop culture and all that. All right. But if you want leaders, my leaders were Stokely Carmichael, H. Rap Brown, Huey P. Newton. You understand? They were young in their 20s. They were college students.
Well, let me cut your wisdom for 1 second, because I want to ask a couple of more questions. Are you almost done with your statement, Unc?
I'm done. You cut me off now.
I'm gonna put a timer on you, Unc. Nah, but I love your wisdom, Unc, because you always bring something to the table that none of us could bring.
You know, listen, I like sharing.
Yeah.
You understand? I like sharing with like and he was talking about your format. You're a person of a man of integrity. Listen, I told him the same thing a while ago. He tricked me to start. He told me he wanted to interview me about Granddaddy IU and got me talking about me. Next thing I know, it's a 6-part series on YouTube. You know I called him and cursed him out, right?
He sure
I called him and, huh?
Hey, called me the next day. He was like, yo, why you putting this up on YouTube and why you start with that? I said, listen, don't worry about it. I do this. Trust me. He was like, all right. He hung up.
But what I saw, was the integrity. Yeah. Because there was a lot of people. I'm not an interview person. Did you listen? Publicity pictures? I don't even know if I have one. All right. You could not find pictures of me pretty much. You might find maybe 4 or 5, maybe over 40 years. All right. Because I was never that guy, that photo op guy, ever. I didn't like taking pictures. I didn't want to take no pictures, and that's that. If you took a picture of me, you caught me off guard. Or talking to somebody away from the camera, didn't know. But yeah, so yeah, man. Go ahead, do your questions before I start again.
Well, I want to acknowledge Casanova Rud for not only tonight, but the last few times we were on. He always came in the chat, said what's up. And I always try to acknowledge any body that contribute to the culture that I know of when they come into the room outside of the family that's there. But I call us my special brothers and sisters that come in and check on me and give me some words of wisdom. So I want to thank you for that. And tonight was a total surprise for me, guys. I did not know Cass was coming on tonight. I thought he was going to come on last week, but he came on tonight. So
but it was all. Can I tell you something? Things happen when they happen.
Yeah, I'm all for it, and I'm all for it. I think that is a wonderful thing. My thing was I asked y'all in 2022, do y'all think artists should speak up? My next question to you is, if they don't speak up, because we see what's going on, right? We see that. Can y'all agree to say that what's happening to a lot of these young artists getting killed is more like an epidemic now? Because it's just happening every other month now.
You got to understand the mentality. The mentality is violence now. What's being perpetuated is violence. You know what I'm saying? For you to be actually celebrated and accepted, you have to be about what you're talking about. So if you're not about what you're talking about now, you out. So you got to have a criminal record. You got to be out here banging your gun. You got to be out here fucking 1,000 bitches. You got to be out here on this lean. You got to be seen on the leaning, because you won't be accepted, because all of what you're talking about is this. Back then, we had storytellers talking about it. Now we got people trying to live a life that they really can't live, being forced and thrown into this shit just to get money, to be accepted, to fuel their ego. Right. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole bunch of yes men that don't have the talent behind them. They're going to big them up doing dumb dances in the background, sipping on the same lean. So you're not getting nobody telling you no advice. Yo, you shouldn't do this. You ain't got no big brother over you. Right. You don't got nobody that was before you that was in the game, maybe putting you up on game.
Right.
You don't see that no more. You don't see any of that.
So my question to you is, should they just remain quiet? Is what I'm asking. If they're not going to speak out, then what should they do?
I can only speak for myself. If it was me, I can't. If I know the truth and I'm speaking lies, I can't look at myself in the mirror. Right. But there's certain people that can. They got certain people that will sell out their own family. You know what I'm saying? You got people that selling grandma's house, don't care about what happened. So it depends on how you were brought up, your morals, what type of integrity you have, and if you want to make money off of it and take advantage of people, feel free. I'm not supporting it. Right. If someone asks me some truth, I might mention something and somebody might unfollow me on social media. I don't give a fuck. I'm speaking the truth. If nobody likes me after I speak the truth, that's fine. Because I know I'm speaking my truth and I'm ready to die with my truth. It's obvious Kyrie maybe a mass amount of money right now. He can speak the truth because he's not. What is he actually losing? He's at the twilight of his career. He already made. They've been looking for any reason to kick him out anyway. Also with Kanye, Kanye made more money than any artist in the history of anything.
Right.
So you think what is he actually losing? What is he actually losing speaking out? Now, if you someone starting off and you got your family moving out of the project, about to move into the mansion, you might want to be quiet until you move into the mansion. It's all strategic now. You got to realize who you up against, who's in control of you, and who's putting the money in your pocket.
Right. Right.
So it's all strategic. You have to have a game plan now. If you want to be about it, make sure you got security with you, because when you're in this game now, somebody definitely testing your jaw, testing your pocket, testing because back then there were multiple lanes because you created one. But now there's just one lane and everybody's on the lane. So if you're in my way, I got to take you out. That's the only way I can get forward, because there's no more lanes. There's no more lanes, bro.
So okay, go ahead.
So I don't. That question is subjective. It's based on the individual and perspective, and maybe where they came from, and where they think they're going. So me personally, I'm speaking up at all times. That's probably why I ain't got shit. But if you someone that can be used to cheating and lying and covering things up, feel free to keep covering up, because everything that's in the dark comes to the light, my G. It might not be this generation, it might be the next.
Right. So my last question, and we're gonna wrap things up. But before I get to my last question, I want to thank a few people for coming into the room on Facebook and on YouTube. So I'm gonna shout out everybody that came through on Facebook, which was let me get to them. My man Gordon Woodbury, A.B. Brown, Clinton Williams, my nephew Stevie York, Bennett, my boy T, Rux, my cousin Arthur, and Arliss Michaels. I appreciate y'all tapping in on Facebook and leaving the messages. And then I'm going to just hit up Sean Ward, Boulder 2009, Achilleman, Chufu, Dartmouth Forever. Okay, Aaron Brown, Aaron Brown, Hassan Burton. Who else? Alicia Blake, Sean Capri. I can't even pronounce that name, but this one right here, I put it on the screen. Nyala, Market 20, Midas Apprentice for the super chat. I thank you for shooting us the super chat. My man Doom Mega, Sir LaRoyale. So there we go. Now shout it out the room. Last question, Cass. Hip hop is definitely at a crossroads in my belief. And just entertainers, athletes, just what we're seeing. You know, and I know we tapped on it earlier, but it's just you in the room now, and I'll shout everybody else out that was here after you close out. But how do we get the message for us to unify? How do we create that conversation? What does that conversation look like? Who do you think needs to be in that conversation? I know you say your thing about the agents and things of that nature, but if we was to get this thing back on track, like you said, like it was, where it's just one lane now and where it was multiple, how do we get that conversation going?
Well, just like I said initially, we gotta educate them on the history, why hip hop even exists in the first place. It was a vein to get out your aggression or your message, your image. You know, we didn't have a place that celebrated us, so we celebrated each other. Now we're not celebrating each other. We're celebrating a message a narrative that is being constructed, because it's obvious there's not a lot of diversity in this game now. It's like all the same sounds, it's all the same type of imagery,
Yep.
message, and all of it's the same. No one has individuality. No one has any type of identity. No one is willing to think out of the box. You know what I'm saying? To be different, to try new things, to be groundbreaking. So the only way we can unify this thing is to realize it's ours first, and don't let these outside forces get control of something. If they don't make the music, they shouldn't be involved in it. If they don't edit the tape, they shouldn't be involved in it. If they're not spinning it back, they shouldn't be involved in it, because they have too much control of everything. And it's all based on money. We need to stop being so money hungry and money driven about everything. You can't take none of this with you. You work 8, 9, 10 hours a day. You don't even see your family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's so money hungry. We got to get back to what life's about. It's about connections. It's about sharing experiences. It's about being unique. It's about showing your side of what you have to offer things. You know what I'm saying? The only way you can unify something. I mean, I don't know where the division's at, because I think we're united as a people.
Right.
But the business side, we don't have anything. So we can't unite that because we don't own anything.
Right.
So we need to start getting ownership of stuff. We need to start getting our masters, because we don't need to have masters anymore. Ain't you tired of a master? Ain't you tired of them beating you?
Hey,
Ain't you tired of him? I mean, are you sleeping in the house with them, or are you in the fields? I mean, somebody always has control of your situation. Find a way to get control of your situation. It seems like Kanye's trying to do that right now.
Right.
He sabotaged everything he had with other people, and now he's just by himself, gathering people that want to be with him.
More like
it seemed like he's not losing anything.
No.
It seems like he's gaining things. Sometimes you got to remove stuff to get stuff. You have to have subtraction to get some addition. You got to remove stuff to let some room in for some new things.
Well,
sorry
not to cut your wisdom, but my mother told me a long time ago, she said, son, if your cup is full, you can't put no more in it. So sometimes you got to empty it out to get more. And so maybe that's what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what he's doing. You know, on another note, I appreciate you tapping in. I want to invite you to come back any Monday after the show. I'll be sending you the links from now on. If you want to have the conversation with us, you're more than welcome. But I'll make sure you get them every week. We only got 2 more weeks of the season left. You know what I mean? But maybe at the end of the season, we could have just a powwow of just various different artists on here, and we just talk about things that's meaningful. Figure out how to try to get it on track. I'll get some elders like Ty, some newer artists, and we'll see what we're doing, man. You know, see how it's. So I want to salute you for stopping in, sharing your wisdom and putting it on the plate. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? You want to give everybody your Instagram and handle anything?
Casanova Rud, everything. So if you know how to spell my name, CASANOVARUD, everything, you'll find something.
Right. All right. I appreciate
every format.
You, my brother.
Yeah. I appreciate you too, bro, and all the acknowledgement. If it wasn't for you, a lot of this stuff will go in between the cracks and get missing and lost, man. So we need more people like you. Hopefully they will be inspired by what you're doing as well, bro.
I think so. You gonna come back and rock with us or what, man?
Well, I can't, I can't guarantee nothing, but my intention is to, you know what I'm saying? And yes, so I'll give you my cosign for sure.
That's appreciated. All right, my brother. Peace.
Peace.
So, I want to thank everybody for tapping in tonight. I definitely appreciate y'all for coming in. You know, I try to have these, and I'm going to keep it short, try to have these magnificent, educational conversations. And then, it's based and wrapped in hip hop, but it's also about life and things that we're going on. And just, I want to hear your perspective. So, moving forward, we're going to ramp up the chat. So some people that's in the chat that actually makes a difference, I'm going to bring you on live for live questioning. All right. Moving over the next few weeks, that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna actually let you get on and ask your question live. That's gonna require a super chat. I'll answer some of the questions in the regular chat, but if you want to get on live with us and talk to the artist and rock out that way and ask your question live, that's going to require a super chat. But I do appreciate everyone that donated, everyone that came in. I want to shout out Fly Ty, Super Lover C, Casanova Rud, my moderator, Jessica Melendez, holding me down every week. And you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys, we couldn't do this. So same time next week. Next week's show is Kid and Play, 7 o'clock. Right after, we'll be on live around 7:30. And get your questions ready. I'm gonna have some new people in the room next week. Some other artists bringing their perspective on those particular artists. Our conversation will start on the show, and then it'll morph into whatever we need it to be into. So next week, if you want to go on live, you talk to my moderator, Jessica. I'll announce that next week. You'll make your super chat, and I'll bring you into the back room, send you the link. We'll vet your questions, and then we'll go from there. Thank you guys for joining. Once again, it's my pleasure. Every Sunday, giving them their flowers is the show at 7 o'clock, and around 7:30, we go live. Peace. Thank y'all. And like my man Russell Simmons say, good night.